Hey y'all, here is my most recent layout, and this layout has inspired me to share 3 different videos, one for the filter challenge and 2 for the designer class. And the one for the designer class that was inspired by this tutorial is actually the papers. And I want to dissect this a little bit. No, it's not a science class, but I'm going to make invisible a bunch of things. I left this one on. This one must have been for texture reasons, so let's turn that off right now. I have just 2 layers here that are visible, and you can see what a cool paper they made. Now, I started with 2 papers from Kim Clausen, and they were freebie papers, and she's got some great textures that she makes by hand and then turns them into digital format. But what I did here that I want to share with you on making papers is actually blending 2 papers together. If you create 2 really cool looking papers just like this one, you can easily blend them together. Now, don't think these are CU free, so I cannot share these on the internet. I'm just sharing what I did here for my layout. Now, since I was working in Photoshop Elements 9, they created a layer mask icon. See, it says create new layer, and it's the best thing. I really recommend getting Photoshop Elements 9 if you do not have it. So when I created this paper, I used this, which is in Photoshop Elements 9. However, I'm going to switch files here, and I'm going to show you how I did it in another manner so that you can do it in any version of Photoshop Elements with the fake layer mask that we've used previously. But if I click on my layer mask and hold down my Alt key and click on it, you're going to see what my layer mask looks like. And I did actually just go in here to the gradients, and I created this gradient here, I believe. Let's call it up, edit. And that wasn't it. No, I made this gradient here, I believe. And when I got done applying the gradient, you have to go back to your gradient lessons and learn how to create all of the color stops and utilize this here at the bottom. But I think once I got done, I actually did not like what I had. And so I actually went into the Enhance drop-down menu, Adjust Lighting, and Adjust Shadows and Highlights. And I'm not going to actually do this, but I actually moved the sliders around until I got something that seemed to work better. I had to try several times, but I remember that is how I changed it in order to get this. So what this is allowing this to do, and this is definitely a more simple layer mask than what I'm going to show you here in a minute, but it's allowing parts of this green paper from below, this green paper here from below, to show through this brown one. You can see actually only if I turn off the green one below, only certain areas of the brown are showing through. Remember, white reveals, black conceals, and so if we look at this, there's a long white area here on the layer mask, and if we go back, you're going to see that long white area is showing here. But everywhere where it's dark, such as this area here, it is not showing. And so when we turn on the bottom one, you can see they're really blended together nicely. And it made for a really cool paper, I thought. I was excited when I did that. And here is the paper I made. I don't own any cool textures like these. So I took some things that I have that are CU, commercial use, and I created this using the fake layer masks that you would have to use in everything else but Photoshop Elements 9. Now this top layer is just some extra texture, so I put that on and I really like the way it toned it down. Looks like it has the luminosity blending mode on it. But what I have here, if you look in the layers palette, is I have a CU paper here, which is one that has these crinkly lines, and I have the fake layer mask, and you can see by the little arrow I have this one grouped with this one, and this is a normal blending mode, no blending modes going on here. And below that I have, let's just turn this off, this green paper, which was also a CU paper. And this top one is, you can see, is a CU border. But I'm going to show you what I did. I got a lot of layers here. Here is the original CU paper, and here was the original CU paper. For this one here, I just used a layer adjustment for hue and saturation, and I filled it in with this blue, and it's got a hard light. You know, you have to just use whatever you have. And then when I was done, I right-clicked and merged down, and that is what I did to come up with this layer here. And I did the same thing with this CU paper, and because it has all these fern-like things in it, I decided to use a green, and this is actually using a color blending mode. And the same thing, I right-clicked and merged down, and that is how I got this layer here. I actually recolored it a little bit because I thought it was too bright. This is just a saved layer that I was working on, but let's go ahead and look at this a little bit further. If you turn on these two, you're going to see that. Let's just see if we can turn on just this and look at the layer masks. This is the layer mask that I created, and I started actually with this layer mask, and I used the gradients, and I just did not like what it was doing for these papers. It just did not work as well as these because I didn't have the same type of papers with all the goody grungy stuff in them. And so I tucked this away because I kind of liked what I created, and I duplicated it, and I kept using various brushes on it until I came up with this kind of cool layer mask. Now remember, to show the layer mask when I'm clicking on it, I'm holding down my Alt key. And so this here alone is what is creating these two papers to blend together. And that's about it. I mean, we have 3 layers. We have this one with the green paper, this one with the blue paper, and then this one with the layer mask. Let's go ahead and show you a little bit. Whoops, Control D. I'm going to duplicate this layer and bring it on up, just so we can go over the techniques for doing this. Bring it on up. Turn off those. So I have these 2 layers that we were playing with, and I'm going to, in order to do the fake layer mask, I'm going to get my hue and saturation new adjustment layer, and I'm just going to click right off the adjustments, and then on this top layer I'm going to hit Control G, so that's grouped with this. So right now it is revealing it all because the layer mask is white. If I choose to go and use that gradient that I had made, let's see, I think this one, and just pull it across, and now let's go back. There's what the paper looked like blended together with just a simple gradient mask, and that's what I had before when I had this one down here, something similar to that. Only if you don't like it, you can keep pulling that gradient, and see that's different. You can go in and edit your gradient by moving the sliders and whatnot around. Let's say I want it more scrunched up over here, something like that. Go back in, and then we get something totally different. Okay, so there we go. That might be pretty cool. But I wasn't satisfied with that, so I began working on my layer mask with some brushes. And I have here like a 50% gray, and then I have a white that's got just a little bit of gray in it. And used the various brushes. I just kept going through. Here's a paint on rough texture brush. Make it big. Make sure we're on here. Now remember, white's going to reveal, so let's say up in here I don't like the way it's not revealing enough of the blue, and so I could just hit it with this brush. Remember, if you just put it down in the middle somewhere, well, this brush isn't doing too bad, but sometimes it doesn't work too well to just drag it. You notice I have my opacity slider down, so this is making small changes. And let's say, where's that one cool brush? Oh, here it is. I love this brush. Let's make it a little bigger. I love this brush. I've used it before. And you can draw on here with it. I hope it's drawing. I stamped down. I'm going to switch to my darker color. And, oh, you can see it making some differences there. I like this brush. But you can just do whatever you want with the various brushes. You may have downloaded some brushes. Here's a rough dry brush. Let's see what that does. I don't like it when the lines go completely off the page, so I kind of, ooh, well, that created a different effect. I'm not sure I'm crazy about this brush. Let's go and change it the other way. Ah, it's like almost raining down on my page. Okay, let's get a different brush. I'm not sure what this one does. Let's make it big. There we go. I like it a little bit better. You know, when you're doing brushwork, this is the part where I can't teach you how to be artistic because I am not. You can see already that I'm not very good at this. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to a lighter color. This is where you have to have some of that artistic natural talent, either that or just a bunch of happenstance where it all of a sudden looks good, which is what I did with my other one. So, you know, you just move around to the various things, and let's try to see if we can get some of this brush going. Oh, there. So, yeah. Anyway, You get caught up playing. But you can see what my layer mask looks like now. It looks very similar to my last one. But that's how you play and get these things to blend. Now I'm going to ditch this, and I'm just going to show you really quickly if I were to use this create a new layer mask. Whoops. Where is it at? Add layer mask right here. Whoops, I don't want it on that one. Add layer mask. And you can easily do this with, where's that gradient? With Photoshop Elements 9, and it actually looks a lot better having this. Now remember, you can get Grant's tools also. Grant's tools will quickly add a layer mask just like this. You know, let's say I wanted to do something to that effect, and then go back in with the brushes and apply things. Let's move this brush up. Ooh, I like it, like it, like it. I don't know why I like this brush. There. See, it's already getting cool, and sometimes you just have to play. Okay, all the time you have to play. Are you having fun listening to me talk to myself? So, yeah. Anyway, see, that's how you blend the papers together. Just kind of like that. And do something crazy. And this one looks pretty horrible. But this one doesn't look very, this one looks acceptable, and I'm probably going to give it out for free, but I worked on it for a long time. And this one here looks even better and was even simpler to make with this simple layer masks. But I started out with two really great papers with grunge work. And so, anyway, you might be able to find some of these at Flickr if you look for the commercial use ones. Have fun. I can't wait to see how you take two papers and blend them together. I want you to even think about stripes and patterns, blending those together, and how powerful that would be. And I'm curious. Wow. Okay. And so many different options out there. So I know this is a little bit long, but I let you get to watch me play. So I hope you can understand how better to blend these together. And remember, you can continue stacking these up. Sometimes the more layers you have, the better they are. Henceforth why I tried putting this to see what it would do. But maybe if I used a blending mode, I can't stop playing! Help! Alright, bye all.